In this video, we're going to talk about numbers in JavaScript. Numbers in JavaScript are very simple. If we compare JavaScript numbers to how other programming languages handle numbers, it really makes JavaScript seem really simple. In JavaScript, all we have to do is simply write a number. Let me give you an example. So let's say var, let's say age equals 32. So my age is 32. That's all I have to do. In order to appreciate this, maybe we have to look at some other languages where we have to say, is this going to be an integer? Is it going to be a big number? Is it going to be a really, really big number? Do I need this number to be able to be negative? Is this number going to be a decimal? There's a lot of options that we have to worry about in other programming languages, and JavaScript makes it super simple. All you have to do is type the numbers. So you'll notice here that unlike strings, there's no quotation marks. We don't have to use quotation marks. In fact, if you put quotation marks around this, it stops being a number. So let me give you an example of how we can use numbers. So let's say var number1 equals 2. Let's say var, that's a little confusing, var number2 equals 8. So I can create a new number. I can say var new number equals number1 plus number2. So what do you think that's going to create? Here I'm creating a variable called number1 and I'm setting it to a value of 2, and then I'm creating a new variable called number2 and I'm setting it to 8. So if I console log new number, what do you think's going to print out? Let's find out. I need to use let's run node numbers.js, and look, it prints out 10, just like you would expect. So here we are creating a variable called number1 with 2. Number2 is going to be 8, and we're adding them together to create a new variable. So anybody who's passed the second grade understands this logic. But what happens if we put 2 in quotation marks? What do you think is going to happen now? Now we're adding number1, which is now a string because it has quotation marks around it, and then 8 because it's just this variable. What do you think is going to print out? Not 10, 28, because strings and numbers don't mix. So when you're working with numbers, you need to make sure that you're working with numbers and not strings. We want a nice 10. So it really doesn't get any simpler than that. We can change these to 42 and 8.693, whatever, even though I didn't type 693. And I can even make this a negative number. Let's keep it positive. And look, we get 50.93, which is 42 plus 8.93, all of the other numbers. And we can absolutely make that negative very simply. We don't have to do anything extra. So that if you've programmed with other programming languages, you can really appreciate how simple that is. If you're new to JavaScript, then you know what? It's a no-brainer and it's really easy.